sure the jump focus for me.
Yeah.
Alright, 1, 2, and 3, you can hit it. What's up, friends and family? Welcome back to another episode of the Highly Emotional Podcast. I got a great thinker with me today. If you don't know who he is, then now is the time to make sure that you get in tune. Welcome to the podcast, Red Pill.
Peace to the God. Peace.
Sirski, bro, I appreciate you being a part of this experience, jumping on the the frequency with me.
Indeed.
I enjoyed that conversation that we was talking in the car, and I think that we both agree that now it's a new times for the culture. We talked about the Kendrick song just dropping.
Watch the party die.
Facts. There you go. And just listening to that song, it made me realize that it is time. Like it's time for us to change. It's time for us as people to unite. And some people have to go. If they're not with the frequency, if they're not on learning how to love everyone, love your brother, love your sister, love your mama. Like if they're not on that type of frequency, then it's time for them to get up out of here.
Yeah. I mean, we got to let the dead bury the dead at some point and, be mindful of what carrying extra weight is. We're at a certain, I would say, juncture, especially in the election season that we're in, where people are being forced to make these lifelong decisions and whatnot. And, we're at a point where we should be electing a plan, not a man, but a plan. Similar to how they had everybody in an uproar with Project 2025, my challenge would be, where's our version of that? At the end of the day, they had a 900-page PDF put together about their vision of what their future was going to be, and they broke it down like a roadmap. So where's our plan at? Why are we not coming together to vote on a plan outside of what other people are doing? Because like the song that Kendrick just dropped and what other things are showing us, kinfolk is not always skinfolk. And it's not about having millions and millions of people doing this, what it is that you're doing. You go with whatever number that you got at that time and you build on that. So, yeah.
I think that, like, for me, like, the more I dive into this concept of us creating this new, I'm going to call it the new religion. That's what I'm gonna put it as, because I feel like I told you before, I feel like we're in a time where all religions are pretty much dying. They're no longer controlling our thinking. You know what I'm saying? It's not like everyone realized that, or people are starting to realize that you can do certain things, and if you don't have these beliefs, doesn't mean that you're going to go to hell. So, for example, I can live a positive life. I can do good in my life, and even though I may not believe in Jesus or believe in being Muslim or all these different things, that doesn't mean that I'm going to go to hell, because I lived my life out of love. I walked in the frequency of God, the God frequency. And I feel like we're afraid to ask these questions. We're afraid to say, like, people think that it's blasphemous if I say that I don't believe in Jesus. What I mean for me, to clarify it so that people understand it, the concept of waiting for someone to come put me in a position and save me, or a time for me to now change because I believe in Jesus, these certain things, like, it doesn't fit for me, because I feel like it's on me. It's on me to have a relationship with God. It's not on, believing in something that someone else told me to have a relationship with God, but it's on me, my own true experience. And I am the Christ figure in my own story, my Christ consciousness, like, me being able to control my reality, me being able to strip myself of the trauma ego, me be able to tap into my divine nature, like we was talking about with them water bottles, right? We're all people in different realities, right? We're all water in different water bottles. And just because you have a certain bottle shape or a certain type of label doesn't mean that you're better than anyone else. And there's an opportunity for you to connect with the world around you. So,
Indeed. It goes back to, the prediction that was made that we are currently in what is known as the Aquarian Age. And what they said the Aquarian Age will encompass is the fact that more people will be more in touch with self, more in touch with spirit or spiritual practices, more in touch with ancient traditional systems than what you know as modern day religions and whatnot. I think that the appeal, the magnetism of it, the quote unquote, the spell of it, the myth of it, or, that's beginning to get challenged in the age of information. The age of information, the access to a supercomputer in your pocket, the ability to ask questions that were denied, answers were denied back in the days because either people didn't have the information, it was not accessible to you like that, or you were being reprimanded for even asking those questions. So now we have access to so many options of so many other things that were held back and hidden and kept from us. And it's almost like a deluge for some people. Like there's a deluge of choices, and there's a deluge of information. There's a deluge of just new realities and whatnot. And many people are willing to go and explore something just a little bit deeper than religion.
Yeah, that's back to what you were saying. Like, it had me diving. Like we all can say is like we're in 2024 going on 2025.
Yeah,
I feel like you said, the Great Awakening has happened. Like we're in a place where we're starting to realize like something's wrong with the world. Something is going on that we may not understand, but we can sense it. You know what I'm saying? Like we can realize like the world is different now. It's not the way that it was before. Just something doesn't feel right. When you look at the things that are on the TV, it makes you question it. It makes you question, like, is this real? Like, you see the debate. Even when it comes back to, like, we talking about COVID, we question, are these things real? Before, the generations before us, they didn't question things. They would have just accepted this. They would have accepted these political leaders as what they are. But on the other hand, we like, this person doesn't represent us. Like, you can see the fucked up or the glitches in the matrix, in the construct right now. So therefore, we're starting to wake up. All people are starting to question everything before they just jump onto it. But first, we need to get rid of that trendy culture where we just hop on the wave because everyone is making it a big thing.
Oh, for sure. Well, that's it. The wave riding and whatnot, that's a natural habit of certain people. And I don't know how they're going to get that out their system. But what I do know is in 2020, the Great Conjunction took place. Many things happened in 2020, but on December 20th, that, in my humble opinion, was a real thing because I've been doing this for more than 20 years, right? And this new wave of people that woke up post 2020 is crazy. Like, the numbers are crazy. So 4 years into a great awakening, right? You have, let's look at it in terms of the Matrix and whatnot. So 4 years after many people first begin to realize on some supercell shit, like, yo, we got, like, because it was promised in the Great Conjunction that we will receive our powers, right? And that our powers would be activated and people were going to become online and everything. And that actually happened. So we're still in the throes of a mass awakening that kind of like spiraled from 2020 onward because it's touching the youth, it's touching family members, it's, like, more people are getting exposed to this new reality. And what is this new reality? And to be honest with you, in all generations, even back in the days with those elders, there was a specific percentage of those people of that generation that were on a certain frequency that was like, nah, I ain't fucking with that. I'm not buying into that. I ain't going for that. You know what I mean? And those are now master teachers. Those are the people who we acknowledge. Those are the people who are, icons to our culture. And the things that we're doing right now, 100 years from now, is going to be looked at the same way. But yeah, we're in the midst of a mass awakening. So in this election year for 2024, once everybody has seen everything that they needed to see, there literally was a campaign out here where people was trying to knock you off by sticking a needle in you, bro.
That shit crazy.
Straight up. They was putting technology in people, and all of the receipts is just showing themselves on a daily basis. We don't even got to say anything else anymore. They got all of the big pharmaceutical companies bowing out, apologizing, settling out of court, doing all of the things to cover their tracks. So seeing what you see and knowing that the party must die, and what the party must die means, and there's many meanings to it, of course, but the meaning is this political party mentality where people are walking around either on red or blue time, right? And it's really about being on your purple shit. Like, the party must die. I'm not, we don't endorse neither party. You know what I mean? No, we don't want to get that twisted. There's nothing to endorse. There's a new party that needs to be born out of this quote unquote chaos. A new order needs to be established, and that established new order is the same new order that Kendrick is calling for in that song. That's the same new order that Nipsey was talking to. Because remember, Nipsey dies in 2019, right? So when he was alive, there was already a whole bunch of people already ready. They was already awoke. They was already awake. They was already active. They was already waking people up. They was already, doing the do. That was the audience that he was going to be doing the documentary. That was his love letter. That was like his love letter to that community by saying, yo, I'm going to do the Dr. Sebi documentary for y'all. Cause y'all the YouTube y'all turned up. I'm gonna give, this is my give back. So when he made his ascension in 2020, this is a whole new crowd, a whole new, a bunch of new people that woke up.
No, that's facts. I think about all these things. I think about it in like a like the timeline. Like, I'll start putting it together, and I'm like, damn, it's a lot of things that did start triggering the raise of the vibration, this new frequency of understanding and questioning things. Like, I tapped into Dr. Sebi too, and Dr. Sebi been doing that shit for what? How long? Like 40 years or something like that, right?
Yeah, the 80s.
Yeah, so
he got lectures in the 80s.
So yeah, so he been on that frequency, and I think at this time, as we both said, is that there has to be someone who steps up to set the tone so that everyone can start tuning in to this new wave, the new light, the new frequency, the new religion. Like, I know that when I say new religion, it sounds like on some like Illuminati end of the world shit, but I'm talking about how we are starting to realize that we are all connected. We all have to live inside this construct or matrix together. We have to raise it, because if you look at it, like all the people that are dying from, whether it's COVID, drug overdose, killing in the hoods, we talking about people who are dying off of Ozempics, like all these different things. You realize that these are not only just trends, but these are things that are killing the culture. It's making us
right, weapons for silent war.
Facts. And it's not like, I hate to make it like a black and white thing, but this is all people, bro. All people need to tune into the frequency and get connected and realize that we're brothers and sisters. Like, I hate to sound like on some tree hugging ass shit, but it's the truth. If you can change your perception and realize that you are equal to the trees, the birds, the bees, the grass, and every single person in the flesh suit, then you can realize how to live your life truly out of love by just understanding that your job is to exist at the highest frequency. Your job is to teach yourself how to love and teach the world around you to love. Like, teach your people. Like, we have two different views and perspectives of life, but that doesn't mean that we can't learn from each other, bro.
Oh, of course.
So it's like that. But I think that on other terms, I do believe that we are starting to connect to our superpowers. I believe it. I believe it. So, like, just based upon my experience, bro, I didn't astral projected since 2020. Even though I suffered from what's that shit called where you sleep on your back and sleep paralysis, and I thought it was a bad thing. I learned it was a superpower. Right. Then I started learning how to lucid dream. Then I started learning how to quantum leap and all these different things. I even learned how to, like, how can I say, like, predict the future when traumatic events are about to happen in my life.
Right.
When I tell you things starting to unlock, but it was just by tapping into my own capabilities, like myself, like learning myself. Okay, this has to apply and this serves some type of reason. So what is this reason for? And the more that I learn myself, the more I'm unlocking what we call superpowers or super capabilities.
Right. So a quick little, and see, my thing is not going up like yours. So
this is yours here. I thought the same thing. Yours is there. Go ahead, talk.
Yeah, a quick backstory about where Red Pill comes from. Yeah, so just a brief little introduction as to who Red Pill and Blue Pill, because that's my twin, and it's two. You know, it's a whole.
Shout out Blue.
Shout out Blue. Shout out to KT, the arch degree, Mama Pill. Right. We come from the school of man, know thyself, right? Dr. Sebi, who you just mentioned, he's, you know, his claim to fame is creating products, right? Where you can actualize this information. Like you could really, he made it a lifestyle because you can actually find out who you are based off of these biominerals that you're taking and whatnot. You know, you're beginning to activate parts of yourself. You know, he had different herbs and whatnot that he was, you know, selling and whatnot that would activate parts of your body and whatnot. As we move forward, the teachers who are a part of our collective, all of them teach people about knowing themselves in certain aspects, whatever it may be and whatnot. So it's you know, it's bigger than religion. You know what I mean? It's about self-actualization, right? It's about being able to, you know, find the God within type, you know what I mean? And not just theorize about it, right? Not just guess about it, not just quote unquote have a blind faith on it, but actually live it out. You know, be able to activate certain powers that people possess. Different people possess different powers. But I'm here to let you know, we're just one day away from waking up. If you turn on your gram one day and somebody is actually floating or going through a wall, then what? I'm just saying, it's bound to happen.
Bro, have you seen about the information about the remote viewing?
Yes.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I have an older brother. Like, I always shout out my older brother. I love you to death. But we like light and dark, yin and yang. And yes, I told him about astral projection, and I was like, bro, I know it's real because of my experience. But his thing is, and we always go back and forth. He was like, but scientifically, it hasn't been proven. I was like, yeah, but scientifically, ain't nobody seen Jesus walk on water. You know what I'm saying? Like no disrespect, but like on some real shit. And that goes back to the different realities. What I deem as real, you may not deem as real. Me and my wife, bro, I swear on everything. I said this on my last podcast episode. Mm-hmm. Me and my wife seen the moon disappear a few weeks ago, bro. I promise you, no one is ever going to believe me, but I promise you, if you ask my wife, randomly, just ask her without me around, I promise you, she'll tell you that the moon disappeared in front of our eyes, bro. We're in a matrix, bro. Like, I promise you, in my reality, on everything I love, I'm not lying, bro. I promise you, we seen it. And if I try to tell this to anyone outside of my reality, they're going to believe that I'm just talking some bullshit, or maybe I was high, or maybe I was tripping. But that goes to say, like, what's real in my reality may not be real in your reality. And for every person, You have to be okay with, like, when it comes to following this journey, you have to be okay with certain people not believing the things that you believe in, because that's your reality. That's your journey. The things that you're going through, I will never be able to experience them the same way that you will, because we are two completely different vessels, water bottles, containers, or God frequency and different, experiences. So
that's a fact. You know, everybody has their unique footprint, and everybody is on their hero's journey. You know, we cross paths, and, you know, people are familiar with other people, but nobody is as familiar with you than you are with yourself. You know, there's 8 billion people on this planet, so that's 8 billion different realities that everybody has. If I get on a train right now, if me and you get on a train right now, and it's a crowded train and there's 20 people on the train and everybody looks at us, and we interview afterwards all 20 of those people as to what do they see when they looked at us the first time, we'll be like, yo, just give me 10 words to describe what you saw. When those, you know what I mean? Give me a description of them. Everybody might have a different description.
Something is going to be slightly different.
Something is going to be slightly different. You know, so perception is reality. What you perceive, you believe. And one of the main reasons why we call this a matrix and why people are beginning to realize this is a simulation, and they're also beginning to realize that even this reality that we're in right here is like a Truman Show.
Facts.
We're being programmed by a web of quote unquote industries, complexes, we call them.
Ads.
Right?
Ads.
Beyond that, complexes. Ads is a part of the complex.
Oh, facts.
Right?
Facts.
But I identify it as the fantasy industry complex. The fantasy industry complex that consists of comic books, that consists of cartoons, that consists of toys, that consists of video games, and that also consists of music and movies and whatnot.
All entertainment.
All entertainment, right. But with cartoons and with toys and with comics, they get you from 0 to 7, from 7 to 14, from 4, you know what I mean? And all of those phases, they're indoctrinating you with the, you know, westernized versions of what a hero or a hero is. They're indoctrinating you with these quote unquote characters that are playoffs of your myth and your original characters. You know what I mean? They're anglicizing them, or they're Europeanizing them and stuff like that.
So they're turning the things that you used to be in multiple lifelines, or where your spirit came from, and making it seem that it's not real in a sense.
It's familiar to your spirit. It's familiar to your memory, right? But they'll put a spin on it and just change, and they're changing the characters, and they're making it, you know, they're monetizing it, of course, and they're changing these characters to benefit their storyline.
Yeah, that's kind of like what Rod Hayes was telling me about the other day when he was saying that the different versions of Cain and Abel, what is it? What's the original form? What is it? I can't even think. What's the original form? The Anunnaki brothers.
Oh, Inky and Enlil.
Yeah, so he was telling me. Yeah, so he was telling me the different versions, and every timeline or every book or every religion, there's all these different versions. It's the same thing as time prolongs. They're just manipulating the story to the convenience of their reality, whoever is trying to tell the story in a sense.
Right.
So then we accept that as like the truth. We think that that's the truth, and then we apply that to our life.
Because perception is reality. What you perceive, you believe. So as long as I can control the narrative, I can control your reality, and I can control how you see yourself.
Facts.
So they got us in school. Boop. They catch us in school. They catch us with the cartoons. They catch us with these video games. I don't have no offense against Japan and whatnot, because I know that they rock with the Asiatic man, but why they don't show it in their art? Why don't we have no depictions of us in manga? Why don't we have video games made in our image? y'all made it in the image of the same people who drop bombs on y'all. I find that to be very weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah, y'all didn't honor us in your art. Y'all ran with the hip hop though, but we're not getting no manga characters. We're not getting. I don't see us.
That's facts. I'm an anime head too, and I couldn't help but notice that. And the person who is supposed to be Asian always looks light,
super light. So
like Goku.
So when they control comics, when they control cartoons, when they control the toys, I am of the golden era of all of that shit. The toys, the comics, the video games. All of it. I had the Nintendo with the robot in the crib. I had Gyromite. I had the gun, Duck Hunt. Like I had my own. People don't understand the impact of Nintendo in the crib. We used to go to arcades before that.
Thanks.
With bags of quarters. You feel me? And play Street Fighter and burn out. Now your crib was the arcade. It revolutionized. It changed everything. Imagine if those games that I was buying, Zelda, Excite Bike, we got hype when we seen niggas in Double Dribble. We got hype when we seen Mike Tyson Punch Out. So imagine a future where our children are going to see games that look just like them. Or it don't got to look just like them, but it got to be a part of their imagination.
That's facts.
Because we don't know what's in the imagination of these babies because they're not. We don't have industries for them. So it's like they still doing the damn white doll, brown doll test with little kids. So I'm like, we could move on from that because why don't we just let them children make their own dolls?
Facts. That's bars. That's bars.
So then we got the comics. You got X-Men, you have the Avengers. You saw what they did with comics, how you could spin it off into the movies and all kind of stuff. Boom. We got all kind of melanated superheroes that nobody even knows about.
Who you gonna name? Huh? I thought you knew one off the top. or something. I thought you was about to say one.
I mean, there's a few of them. We have Black Lightning.
Okay, facts. Static Shock.
We got Static Shock. You know what I'm talking about?
Facts.
Even Spawn.
Spawn was the truth. Blade, my
genius.
That's facts.
You feel me? Like there's a whole laundry list of and there are characters and there are propriety that hasn't even been introduced because some of my master teachers are master artists. Dr. Phil Valentine was the one that created Galacticus.
You got to plug me in with him. I'm trying to fix his brain too.
Bobby Hemmett is a master artist. He has art. He does art. Most of the master teachers, A.A. Rashid is a master artist.
I'm trying to link with him
is a master artist. KT the Arts Degree master artist. Blue Pill master artist. Red Pill master artist.
All creatives.
Mad creatives, bro. It's crazy. I'm talking about me and A.A. was in gifted school together at high school. We was in for art. In New York. You feel me? So it's like, I'm giving my people a shot. I know how I mastered AI, I mastered the tools, I mastered Midjourney, I mastered Runway, I mastered a lot of them. And I got a team of animators that I work with. So I was waiting for the day like this where I could literally make all of these things to put myself in a whole industry. I can make a toy right now, bro.
Facts. We're in a different time.
That
lets you know the Matrix is starting to break through, though.
But beyond that, a different time called for different rhymes. It called for different people. We need new leaders. We need a new guard. We need a fresh. We need new everything. Like Kendrick said, we need a purge. We literally need a purge, and we got to start out with a new energy, a new frequency. It can't be attached to none of that other shit. That shit got to go by the wayside. So we're preparing for a day like that. It's coming, you know?
No, that's bars. I fuck with that. I think that it is time, bro. I think that we as a culture, we got to start realizing what it is and set the tone now. Like all of us, when I say culture, I'm not talking about just one type of looking people. We all connected, so we have to come together equally and set the tone for that next utopia.
Right. The tone got to go up about 8 octaves at this point. That ass.
That's
the tone got to go up about 8 octaves. Once again, and I reiterate this, for those who are not on the frequency, who don't fuck with the frequency, who don't even understand it, this is not for you.
Oh, God, please go.
The same way that I'm not in the gang right now, because that's not my shit. That's not something I want to be a part of. Like, I could observe it from the outside, but for the politics and all of that other stuff, I don't involve myself. I don't have nothing to do with me. So it's politics in every movement and every type of movement and every single network and whatnot. No different here. You feel me? This is only for the ones that are considered to be the chosen few. You know what I mean? Like they had 144,000. Let's just say that that's the number. Let those people exist in their own reality, doing what it is that they do. The same way that there's an artist, an Afrofuturist artist by the name of Sun Ra, right? Who was very influential back in the days to our parents' generation and whatnot. You know what I mean? He had a very galactical mind and whatnot. He had a band called an orchestra, right? And he was out there. Right? Then you got George Clinton and them. They were out there. Parliament. They were out there. They were allowed to be out there, to be in their own reality because, remember, cloak yourself in the arts and you'll never have to, quote unquote, explain yourself. That's one of the problems that our people have. You don't cloak yourself in the art. You know what I mean? You're trying to, you're showing your whole hand out there and whatnot, and you don't have no art to cloak yourself. You don't have no protector, because art as a cloak protects people. You feel me? There's people that could have been, they would have been wiped off of the map if they didn't have the art to protect them. Nah, I'm an artist. This is how artists think. I'm very provocative. You know what I mean?
On some Kanye.
On some Ye shit. I'm very provocative. I am, because Kanye, at the end of the day, they know they dealing with a martyr. He kind of like, if you take, you know what I mean? I would be the most profound philosopher, artist. You have to put art. That's why, going back to what I was saying about the fantasy complex industry, why it's so important to master the arts and the sciences. Right, we're doing good in the sciences. We got all of the teachers, we got all of the information, YouTube, whatever. But the arts is where we lack. The arts is where we have to become owners, and we have to build these new pillars and whatnot. And we just have to contribute content. It's like filling up a bottle and whatnot. And we have a collective. There's so many people right now. So user generated content is going to fill up the chalice or the fountain of all of that information and that content. And you'll be able to live off of that. You'll be able to monetize that. You'll be able to reap the rewards off of advertising and stuff like that.
Bars. I wanted to touch on it because you had brought it up in the car, and I thought it was amazing, the story you told me, but I want to hear this story about the toad. It's the toad, right? That shit. Yeah, go ahead and tell me about that shit again, though.
Alvarez.
Let them know.
Alvarez. The clinical or the scientific term is 5-MeO-5-DMT. MEO5-DMT. And what that is known as the God molecule. Right, with DMT being the spirit molecule. And this has been spoken of by Mike Tyson as the miracle that basically saved his life. He attributes it to getting his powers back. You feel me? Because he lost his powers and whatnot. Toad medicine, or what they call toad venom, is one of the most intense plant-based medicines that I've ever experienced. You know, my experiences with medicines are just plant-based. I don't get into chemicals, shit from a lab, synthetics and whatnot. They do have synthetic toad, but I would say go for the real deal. The toads come out of Arizona. You don't want the synthetic. You want the pure powder, you know what I mean, from the toad, which is called Bufu allivaris. And my brother Blue, he experienced it before I did. And he told me some real enlightening experiences that he had in terms of him having an ego death and meeting God. And at that time when he said it to me, it was so profound that it took me about 6 months for me to muster up the, just the readiness to go ahead and take the trip, because that's basically what you're doing. Same way that they have, I just seen something where a billionaire did a spacewalk and whatnot. Well, that's all fine and dandy and that's cute and everything. But the real spacewalk is the walk inside. It's the inner traveling.
Bars.
Right? Interstellar. It's going within, you know what I mean? Because that's an endless universe. So you're going upstairs, like you're going to go up. I'm talking about you're taking, you going past Starlink, you know? It is a cerebral experience. You're not hallucinating. It doesn't hallucinate. You don't trip out. It's not one of those type of things. But you are going to have a surreal experience where you're going to experience the ego death. Now, what the ego death does is the ego death is going to show you, it's going to prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt what it feels to be a part of what they say is the one or the source. I know we hear about it.
Yeah,
I know we hear about
shit.
it. You know what I mean? I know we read about it. We hear about it. But to actualize it, to actually, be a part of the one, there's no English words that could describe what that feeling was. I try my best to articulate it. I use the analogy of the water in the ocean in the bottle. Right? This is about the ego death. This is how I break it down. So there's the ocean, right? And that's basically what the one or the source is. It's an ocean of light. So you begin to actualize this white light. But when I say a white light, it's not like the light that we're looking at right now, this white. It's a force. And it's not white, like, you know what I mean? But it's just a bright force. It's a life force, and it encapsulates you. And it's omnipotent, omnipresent. It's basically an energy, and it connects you to everything. You get to feel one with every single thing that is around you. So you immediately are reminded there is no individual you. That does not exist. That is all ego. That's not real. So in the ocean, you have water. In the store, you have water bottles. Water in a water bottle. That water in a water bottle is the same thing where you have this ocean of light. We are sentient light beings. That light that I speak of is our quote unquote ocean of the sentient light. Inside of the human body is that light, but the body is the bottle. You understand? And what the ego is I'm Deer Park bottle of water. No, I'm Essian bottle. No, I'm Fiji bottle. No, I'm this bottle. All of these egos, I'm black, I'm brown, I'm this, I'm from Brooklyn, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm Christian, I'm a Democrat. All that's ego. That's not real.
That's your water bottle.
That's your water bottle. When you pour that water bottle into the ocean, though, it becomes one with the source. It becomes one. There is no ego. You throw the bottle away. You'll never hear anything about Deer Park. You can't even tie Deer Park to the water is a part of the one. That's you. You are part of the one. Do not bog yourself down with all of these fake titles, all of this stupid shit. It's not real. That's the Matrix. That's what they, you know what I mean? Because look, you born, they put a name on you. Boop, that's ego. Oh, they put a date on you. Boop, they put a sign on you. Boop, that's ego. They put a collar on you. Boop, that's ego. Where they gonna take the baby to? Oh, we taking them to the Bronx, nigga. We ask all day. Boop, that's the ego.
Facts.
Then you going on 149 for Valentine. Oh, nah, we throwing it up. We mob, gang. Another box.
Facts.
So egos are boxes, box. You gotta. So I broke out of the box. The shit was crazy. I really went Super Saiyan. I was blowing shit up. Like I went nuclear. I'm dead ass. That's how much energy was surging into me in that experience. Lasted for like 20 minutes. The surroundings was crazy. It had the waterfall, all of it sounded like we was in the rainforest. We was in Brooklyn in an apartment. Had the shaman there, and he was reminding me to think about Love Supreme. He was like, the song Love Supreme? I'm like, yeah, my dad used to play that in the house. He was like, just play that in your mind because you want to remind yourself that the most dominant energy in the universe is love, not hate and not fear. You feel me? You don't hear too many people coming back talking about fearful shit or hateful shit. You know what I mean? The more dominant, that's more of an earthly thing. So I was just focusing on love. I was just focusing on truth. I was focusing on man know thyself. And many, many things were revealed to me, bro. It's intense. It's not for everybody. I seen what the hood done did with the shrooms. They took that shit from a medicine to a recreational type of thing. That shit's
crazy.
You feel me? I would rather that than the Molly Percocets and the fake pills all day. I feel like the hood is going through a spiritual healing with the whole shroom movement. You can't get around that. Nobody's stronger than 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't care where your brain is at. You're 10 grams, nigga. You're locked in. You're going to have that conversation with your bloodline. You're going to have that conversation with somebody that's not Jesus. You're going to have that conversation with some whole nother shit that you probably never even realized existed. The nature going to start talking to you. Nigga, the plants, the trees going to come alive. So people who are considered themselves to be religious by way of just partying in party towns and in party cities and being a part of hip hop culture, they're now getting exposed to psilocybin. That's major. You know what I'm talking about? And on a swing end of it, they're being exposed to opiates that are killing them.
Facts.
Wholesale. Similar, we went through this when the mob was flooding the hood in the 50s. People, you know what I mean? Like, this is not nothing new. They was calling it King Heron. It was washing the hoods up. That's the shit that came and washed a very pristine Harlem up. Harlem was not, when you look at pictures of Marcus Garvey, early Malcolm and whatnot, they were clean, bro. Not them, the audience. They wasn't on dope like that. The dope didn't hit like that.
You about to make me go look at the pictures.
Yeah, go check that out. We was up, right? The dope came and washed us. They did that in China. with the British did that in China. All of that dope shit is a part of a whole shit dealing with, these people who've been moving, because, the royal, all of these companies where they was moving alleged slaves, they was moving dope too. You know what I mean? Like, these are the real, they say cartel and everything. Even when it's China, it's still the European got their hand in that.
So all right. So let's get into this.
Yeah. So
with the European, that's who's running the world, right? The structures, the matrix is European people,
it's a global affair.
So all right, because I was talking to Rod Hayes, and he was talking about how he was saying that the people that are running the old construct, the old way, the old matrix, the people who came up with the religion, he was like saying that they were darker than you and I.
Yeah.
They're black. Yeah, so
black nobility.
So what's that about?
That's about old bloodlines in Europe that went to war against other bloodlines, wiped them out, enslaved them, deported them, beheaded them, converted them
to Christianity, right?
Yeah, and other things. Put their children in places of positions of power and whatnot as the front or the faces and whatnot, while they were ruling in the background. You know, this is a proven fact.
So you talking about like now, like the Roman Empire and stuff like that, right?
They were black Romans.
Damn, is there pictures of these people?
Of course. Go and look up St. Maurice.
Do you have names?
Go and look up St. Maurice. Go and look up the Bavarian Empire, the Bavarian Roman Catholic Church. You know, St. Maurice is the saint that Hitler was marching out with. He's an African.
Maur?
St. Maurice, yeah, Mauri. Yeah.
Wait, this person?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've seen this picture somewhere before.
So there's been rumors and there's been, you know, not a lot, but there's been teachers who have broke down the involvement of melanated people, even from the continent, you know, in the upper echelons of this matrix, you know, as being the architect and whatnot, and it not being Europeans, them being, you know, the European just being the face or the front. But you cannot exclude the involvement of the Khazarians and whatnot in a lot of things. You feel me? They have their hands in a lot of things. That goes into that's the Rothschild, that's the banking conglomerates, you know, that's that type of energy right there. Those families that are behind the banking institutions and whatnot.
Yeah, I seen the what is that? I seen Zeitgeist. That shit blew my mind, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Zeitgeist was one of those, because remember, we have eras of waking up, mass awakenings. Yeah. We have eras. So there was an era in 2007 and 2008. There was a mass awakening around the time of the rise of Obama. And Zeitgeist was one of the progenitors. It was one of the premier pieces of information that was a part of that awakening.
Yeah, that shit.
Yeah.
I watched that joint during COVID, and that shit, after I finished watching it, it made me question, like, the crosses on my, like, these crosses on my hand, the crosses above my door. Like, I was like, I'm, like, for me, like, the awakening, how it happened, the deprogramming or the killing of the old construct in my brain,
right.
It had me questioning things, and I felt like I was doing, like, I was going against God. I looked at the cross and I was like, why am I glorifying something, one, that somebody was supposed to be crucified on, but two, I'm worshiping this cross when I should be connecting directly to God, because back to the Bible, Jesus said, don't worship me, right?
Right.
So I'm doing a disservice, but then I start seeing all that stuff and I was like, okay, it may like I believe that there's truth in every book, every single book, right? You just, however it's told based upon that person's perspective.
Yeah.
But I realized that it was an error on how I had believed in Jesus. I believed in it blindly. And then I was worshiping these things like, if I wear a cross, I'm protected. God got all these different things.
Right.
And I realized after watching Zeitgeist, I was like, I'm doing a disservice to God, because I'm sitting here like, let's say like a Bible in my house, like that shit ripped or something like that. I'd be afraid to throw it away because I feel like I'm being a bad Christian or something like that.
Desecrate the word like that.
Yeah. So, but then I was like, what am I? So I'm supposed to keep this ripped up Bible, this wet Bible, or something that happened to this Bible for the rest of my life? Like, no. So then I started realizing
that Bible.
Facts. I'm like, I got this old ass Bible or this broke ass cross. Like, I realized that when I watched that, guys, I realized that I was doing a disservice because I'm idolizing something outside of myself when I should be tapping into the God that's within me, that's within all of us, that is literally the ocean, like we said, that light, what'd you call it? The light what?
Sentient.
The light sentient.
Mm-hmm.
Like
sentient light being.
There you go. Like, I need to tap into that. And once I started tapping into that, that's when now I have more answers about everything than I ever thought I did. I don't have to ask nobody nothing. We can have a conversation and I feel equal. I don't feel like I gotta listen to you because you the master or you the boss. Like, I don't feel that way no more. So that shit shifted a lot of things for me now.
That's growth though. You have a way to measure your growth now, because you could go back. You know what I mean? You have a point of reference.
Facts.
You have a point of reference. You know that there was a time when you were at that stage. So now you could gauge your growth and development based off of how far away from that point you are. Be like, yeah, that was a long time ago, because I ain't on that time like that. You know what I mean?
I'm a whole different being.
I'm a whole different being. And you'll begin to understand that this is an eternal journey. Once you get on this road to perdition, once you start this journey, you're literally going to be on this shit maybe until the last day. Like, this is a new life. This is a new walk. This is a new you. You know what I mean? This is a whole new journey. It's called the hero journey and whatnot. And you're going to be challenged. God damn it. That's one of the biggest misconceptions that people have in this journey, is that they don't even know that the challenge is the test. They don't even know that the stress is the resistance of going through the stress is actually how you get big. They don't know what spiritual bank account is. They don't know what spiritual wealth is. They're doing things and looking for a monetary fiat payout, not realizing that they're filling up their bank. Their spiritual bank account is going to help pay off for that goddamn karma.
That's facts.
Yeah.
In facts, we're tasting that. We worried about that temporary gratification, that high, instead of worrying about that spiritual connection.
Right.
So
spirit is immortal. The spirit is not temporal. It's not temporal. It's not worried about right away, right now. The spirit is immortal. You do things and you see it differently when you move like that, rather than just moving for the moment, and moving in survival mode, and you know what I mean, and moving short-sighted. As we could look back and learn from a fool, that short-sightedness don't get you nowhere. You get booked in this industry. You get booked with a smile to the face. They'll book you for life and smile in your face.
Free Tory Lanez.
Yeah. You'll sign a contract and be locked in for life and be a literal slave, and they'll be smiling at you, and you booked yourself because you wasn't patient. You didn't take the time to learn. Look, intelligence is the highest asset, even in this capitalistic system. Knowledge and intelligence is the most desired asset. It's something that you can't buy. You know what I'm saying? I seen people in rooms that had a lot of quote unquote liquid assets and to get booked by people who were more intelligent than them. Easy. You know what I mean? It was easy work. So, once again, this movement is already happening. We're just reporting
Facts
from the front lines. This is not a frontline type of thing. It's not supposed to be on Vlad TV. This ain't supposed to be on World Star. This is not that. This is for those who know, this is one of them things. It's a secret society. You know what I mean? It's what we would call the invisible empire or the invisible college and whatnot. Many people are learning. They went past the stage of learning. Now they're living the information. They're living the lessons. They've activated their superpowers. They've turned on their God genes and whatnot. They've given birth to gods and goddesses. You know what I mean? People have reversed terminal illnesses. You know what I mean? People have turned around all type of things. And we've all been challenged. We all been through. So we don't want to hit a pity party. We all been through the dirt. We all been through the quote unquote mud. We all been through the dark places, the dark spaces. And we respect everybody going through their quote unquote shadow, their dark night of the shadow and whatnot. And we provide some lights for that too.
Facts. You got to do that shadow work. That's on God. You got to get through it. You are your savior. If you tapped into this information, you tapped in. It's a reason why you linked up with this. It ain't purposeful. We not paying nobody to put it on a platform. If you linked in, you linked in. If you tapped in, you tapped in. Right. If not, you tapped out. That's just what it is. But all right. So I usually do this every episode. I got this tradition. I need two things for you. One, I need a powerful quote, which you can do second. Right. First, I need a book reference, something that you could put people on, a book. And then secondly, I need a powerful quote that we can apply to our lives.
Okay. So many books. Let me think of one. Narrow it down. Damn, the superior man keep popping up.
The way of the superior man.
It keep popping up. I was trying to move around and get y'all some fancy shit, but the way of the superior man and the hero with 1,000 faces by Joseph Campbell, that's coming up too. What that book does is it shows you the power of myth. We got to get more into myth making. We have to get more into our mythos. You know what I mean? As melanated people, we bigger than rappers. We're too intelligent. We have big imaginations, great minds and whatnot. I think some of the greatest writers of the future are, we haven't even found them yet, or they haven't found themselves yet and whatnot. More stories and scripts. I mean, we in Atlanta. This is literally Black Hollywood. Is movie time. We need more script writers. We need more stories. We have to control the narrative. It's all about controlling the narrative by any means necessary. You could talk all that shit. If you don't control the narrative, then you don't have nothing. Dead ass. You being strung along, you know what I mean? With somebody else's bars and whatnot. Right. You a customer. Dead ass. You a customer. So I would say that the way of the superior man, teach you how to level up. It's a war going on outside. I think we need to get back to the basics and don't try to get super deep in the middle of the ocean. Let's go back to the way of the superior man, get our discipline up, get our mastery up, get our backbone straight, our the pillar stand, get more firm, move as a army. You feel me? Move as an army, art of war type shit. That's the type of time we got to be in. That's what Kendrick talking about, militancy. He's moving militant. You only seen him like 3 times through this whole ordeal. He's moving militant. You don't know his moves. He's not broadcasting it. He ain't going live showing you what he's eating and whatnot. This nigga's not taking pictures in a bathroom by the sink. He's moving militant. We got to start moving like more of a militant nation. Thanks. You feel me? And the last one is a saying.
A quote. I need a quote.
Okay.
What you got?
Man, know thyself. Man, know thyself. Don't worry about what I'm doing. You know what I'm talking about? Don't worry about what the God is doing. You got to worry about what you're doing. Because all of that time, that you got to spend all of this time on you, your family, your genealogy, learn about your bloodline, learn how far back you go, where you come from, what's your traditions, what tribes you belong to, clans, all kind of stuff. Your cosmic self, there's ways to get into all of that. But the journey is the most rewarding part of this whole thing. So, I would tell everybody just jump off the porch and get out there.
That's bars, Brody. You got any announcements? You got anything coming up in the area? Anything you want to drop off?
September the 22nd, me and Blue Pill are going to be in Brooklyn at Nicholas Bookstore. And we're going to be doing a workshop entitled How to Create Your Own Fantasy Complex Industry, right? And it's going to be available live stream as well. And we're going to have a workshop where we're basically going to be teaching people what the industry is, what are some of the quote unquote ways that the industry has shaped reality as we know it today. What are some of the tools, the AI tools that are available that could help you become creator in these industries and whatnot. And we're going to be showing people the steps to take to basically get themselves into this industry and be a part of it, because we're not trying to get on Marvel's payroll. We don't want to be a part of DC. We want to build our own Marvel and our own DC. You feel me? And our own, cartoon series.
Facts.
So, yeah, we're going to start this campaign, the workshop, September the 22nd. It's available on ktluniversity.com. That's my website, ktluniversity.com. And on that website, you will find my whole digital library. You know, we got classical lectures up there. And then we also have a new master teacher capsule that we launched on the mart125.com, the mart125.com. That's the new drip with the master teachers, Bobby Hemmett, Dr. Delbert Blair, Dr. Africa, Dr. Sabi, and we also have Dr. Valentine, new drip. So
bars.
Yeah.
Man, if you fuck with this episode, if you tuned in and it just resonated with you, make sure you hit a like, subscribe button. Make sure you share with your mama, your daddy, anyone that you need this message. And until next time, peace, love, and light. Big Swim.